multiple nights in the hospital. Find out about the recent updates on the Pope's condition.
Ohio's 2026 gubernatorial race is shaping up. We have the recap of former presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy's campaign launch event in Strongsville last night.
Medicaid funds are at stake in the latest budget plan. Hear about what the bill is and how it can affect Americans.
And education company Chegg is suing Google over usage of artificial intelligence. Hear all about the legal battle and more as Kent Stater TV at 6 begins right now.
This is Kent Stater TV.
Good evening, Portage County, and welcome to Kent Stater TV News. I'm Anthony Leonardi.
And I'm Matt Brown. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Republican Vivek Ramaswamy announced his run for Ohio governor this week, and he's making stops around the state to reach potential voters.
Last night he made a stop in the Cleveland area, and KSTV's Sydney Brown attended the campaign launch event. Good evening, Sydney.
Good evening. That's right, the Ohio entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy spoke for over a half hour to a packed Strongsville bar about his plans for the future of Ohio if elected as governor. Filled to capacity Tuesday evening, where voters from around Northeast Ohio gathered to hear Vivek Ramaswamy right after he joined the Ohio governor's race.
I am running to serve as your next governor of the great state of Ohio. Thank you, Strong.
The former presidential candidate is starting off with quite a bit of momentum, having received endorsements from President Donald Trump and Elon Musk within hours of his official announcement on Monday.
Came in right after we launched the campaign, and we are taking the country and this state to the next level.
And Ohio lawmakers were also on hand to add their support.
Ramaswamy is governor. He's going to turn Ohio around again.
Ramaswamy laid out his vision for Ohio, covering topics like Ohio's economy, education, safety, and mental health. The crowd really liked his promises to cut property and income taxes.
We better get ready for it. Buckle up. Anybody ready to abolish the income tax in Ohio?
As well as plans to bring more industry to Ohio. He said his goal is to make the Ohio River Valley the next Silicon Valley.
We're just getting started. We're in the middle of a second industrial revolution in the world right now, and I believe Ohio will lead the way.
There's a long road ahead into the 2026 election. However, those in attendance are excited about the future for Ohio.
This is a point of hope. You can only have hope. We all have kids. He's obviously a successful businessman. Hopefully this translates to operating a state.
They want to have a new governor, so maybe there'll be some big changes to this state. We deserve a change now.
A prominent reason for the enthusiasm, people seem to like who Ramaswamy is.
OH, let's go.
He's very sincere. You know, you can just see it, you can talk to him. He just seems like you know him when you're talking to him, like you've met him before. And I like that because that sends a message to me that I think this is going to work out in the long run.
The new blood needs to come in. So I believe Vivek is that kind of fire he can bring to Ohio, and he can make this state as an excellent state.
The race for Ohio governor will really take shape in the May 2026 Republican primary. So far, Ramaswamy is competing against Ohio's current Attorney General, Dave Yost.
I am running to be the next governor of a great state at the heart of the greatest nation known to mankind.
After Ramaswamy's Monday announcement, Attorney General Dave Yost said in a statement he welcomes him to the race for however long he sticks around. Reporting from the Franklin Hall studio, I'm Sydney Brown.
Thanks, Sydney. Wellness Wednesday is currently happening in the Student Rec and Wellness Center, allowing students to receive wellness education, do interactive activities, and participate in giveaways. This event is free of charge and does not require you to stay the entire time. But if you can't make it tonight, do not worry, because this is a weekly event, but you'll want to make sure you set a reminder that they will pause during spring break.
Alongside that, Steve Geralt, a photographer turned videographer, is speaking at Crawford Hall right now as part of the Michael D. Solomon Entrepreneurship Series. He'll be there from 6 to 7:30 p.m. in room 330. He's the creator of The Garage, an international innovation production company. The event is geared towards students that are interested in business and content creation. The event is free and open to the public.
And students and faculty are welcome to attend the restoration program tonight from 6 to 8 p.m. in room 250 at Oscar Ritchie Hall. There will be a discussion as well as a professional panel, which will feature 2 Kent State alumni guest speakers. After the panel, there will be a yoga session, and no yoga experience is required. If you want to attend this event tonight, you'll have to register.
And the Madonio Family Trust is hosting the Paw It Forward food drive across Portage County to help households struggling to feed their pets. The drive started on the 14th and will conclude this Friday. They accept wet and dry food for dogs and cats. Donations can be made at any drop-off site. The sites include Kent Social Services, Center of Hope, Portage Insurance, and Brimfield Insurance.
Your first forecast on Kent Stater TV.
This week we've seen a glimmer of hope with winter weather subsiding, at least for now. Looking outside our windows at Kent, Ohio, it is currently feeling like 40 degrees, the highest temperature that we've seen in a long time. All throughout this week, the snow has melted, the sun has come out a bit, but we are dealing with some rain. It currently feels like 37 degrees as that rain is causing a little bit of chill in the air. The wind is going east-southeast at 5 miles per hour, so not much to worry about there. And our current moon phase is in waning crescent for tonight, with the new moon having occurred last night. Now, moving into my forecast for tomorrow, it's going to be a high of just about the same type of temperature. It's going to be a high of 42 degrees. However, it is going to be windy, and that's going to bring the temperatures down. I'll get into that in a minute. There will be occasional rain across the area. It's going to be about a 63% chance in the area, and when it is not raining, it is going to be overcast. So don't let that higher forecasted temperature get you too excited. Make sure you're still wearing a jacket. Your sunset is going to be at 6:14 p.m. tomorrow night. Now, I wanted to move into my on-campus forecast because, as you can see, I have the temperatures right here. It's going to be 41 degrees at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. However, it's going to feel like 34. We're going to have winds in between 10 to 15 miles per hour that are going to seriously impact the overall temperature on the night. There's a 36% chance of precipitation in the morning, and you can see that that is only going to come back in the evening. So in terms of rain, there is not much to worry about. But as the temperatures go down, so does the expected temperature based on the wind. It's going to be 39 degrees at noon, but feel like 31. So I would still bundle up if you're going to be walking across campus, and it's only going to affect the temperatures a little bit more once you get into later in the afternoon, and there will be a substantial chance of rain at night. With all of this in mind, stay tuned as I will be taking you across the state of Ohio, as well as give you a little bit of insight into how long we'll continue to have this spring-like weather.
Thanks, Sophia. In Ravenna, a second attempted murder trial has begun. This comes 8 years after David M. Smith was convicted for an attempted murder in 2015, which found him guilty of attempted murder, aggravated burglary, and aggravated robbery. In the defense, Smith's team says that the prosecution could not prove its case beyond a reasonable doubt. They also say that some evidence was left unexamined at the scene, which could have provided conclusive proof.
Over 100 animals were rescued from a property in Sandusky County last Tuesday. Authorities found an assortment of animals ranging from dogs and cats to exotic birds and a pig. The property owner is a licensed vet and has been indicted on 5 felony counts of cruelty to companion animals. Her arraignment is set for Tuesday, March 11th, according to court records.
And Ohio lawmakers are working on a bill that would provide a school breakfast and lunch for no cost. Sponsors of the bill say that it would not cost the state very much and would really help families as well as positively impact academic performance. Under this law, schools that participate in the National School Lunch Program and the Breakfast Program would be reimbursed by the state of Ohio.
Ohio lawmakers introduced legislation aiming to eliminate arrest and ticket quotas for law enforcement. The Ohio Highway Patrol already has a ban on quotas in their contracts, but the bill is expected to include any anonymous reporting system for agencies using quotas. A similar bill failed to make it out of committee in Columbus last year.
And sticking with Ohio law, lawmakers are working to pass a bill to allow the use of digital IDs. In this bill, Ohioans would be able to use digital IDs in scenarios like traffic stops. Citizens would not need their physical copy on hand, but they would still need to own one, as it will still be used in scenarios like opening a credit card account. The Ohio Department of Public Safety is still working on securing this bill safely.
At an all-time low. See how this affects one of the biggest producers of orange juice and other contributing factors.
In response to higher prices on eggs, the government has unveiled its new plan to tackle the issue. This and more after the break.
morning. Hope you all had a good weekend and are ready to be inspired. One quick thing I want to remind you guys to be studying.
Major key alert. Did you just look at your phone while you was in class? You played yourself.
Class, today we're talking about inspirational quotes.
You want to get that paper? You better turn in that paper and get an A+. That's a major key. Another one. Mogul talk. You want to reach the mountaintop? You got to go hard. To succeed, you have to believe. Stay focused. Fly higher than the eagle. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Louise, can you give me an example of an inspirational quote from recent history?
Don't play yourself. The key is to make it.
And who said that?
I did. Now that's a major key alert.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at getschool.com.
We know you work hard, so come spend your lunch with us at the Bistro on Main. We've been serving the community for 3 generations. Only a quick 10-minute drive from Kent State's campus. Make your breaks count at the Bistro on Main, where friends become family.
Hi, I'm Leland Melvin, and I traveled to space twice as a NASA astronaut. Space technologies help protect our precious Earth. Space helps us monitor changes in carbon emissions, track the pace of climate change. It even helps us fight natural disasters. Make sure that you get out to your local science museum or go to spaceforall.us to explore and learn about space and science. Space is for all.
Tomorrow's news leaders.
Today's top stories.
From an award-winning student newsroom.
This is Kent Stater TV.
Your community.
Your stories.
Ukraine may be getting help from the United States soon to aid them in their fight against Russia. Over the past couple days, the two countries have been holding talks about the U.S. gaining access to Ukraine's rare earth minerals. In return, the United States would help provide Ukraine with reconstruction funds as well as bringing the Kremlin invasion to an end. Volodymyr Zelensky will appear in Washington, D.C. to sign the agreement on Friday.
Brian Koberger's attorneys are asking for the removal of the death penalty as a potential sentence on account of autism. Koberger is accused of allegedly fatally stabbing 4 University of Idaho students 2 years ago. It's not clear whether Koberger's defense sought a diagnosis or if he was previously diagnosed. The motion was filed this week alongside a request to redact or seal newly filed records.
Well, Matt, so far this year, the economy seems to be all over the place.
For more on economic news, we turn to our very own Lexi Blatnick.
Thanks, Matt and Anthony. There's plenty of news today from a lawsuit on Google to declining Tropicana sales. Google and online education company Chegg are in a legal battle over artificial intelligence. Chegg relies on Google to generate answers. But ever since Google uses AI in its search function, students can use the tech giant's page to find answers. Chegg claims that Google forced its content to be included in Google's search results. As a result, less users visit Chegg's page. In the past year, Chegg's revenue has dropped 24%. And the home buying season is off to a slow start. New single-family homes in the U.S. sputtered more than expected this January. New home sales fell 10.5%, but they're not the only ones struggling. Existing home sales also fell in January. Those sales fell 5% from December. Buyers are hesitant to buy homes due to rising prices and borrowing costs. The house industry is not the only one seeing sales on the decrease. Fruit-based company Tropicana is in the thick of financial crisis. The company's sales have gone down in recent years. Tropicana's higher prices, increased competition, and buying trends have all played into the company's decline in sales. Additionally, the company is dealing with an orange shortage thanks to natural disasters. The Agriculture Department predicts this year's orange production to be the lowest in 88 years. For more consumer updates and other stories, visit our website, KentStater.com. For KSTV, I'm Lexi Blatnick.
Keeping you informed and ahead of the storm, this is your KSTV weather.
Right behind me, in the midst of this full spring that we're experiencing, I have temperatures across the state of Ohio. As you can see, we've got temperatures ranging all the way from 37 degrees in Toledo down to 64 degrees in Athens. The further you go across the state, the warmer it's going to be, and it's a pretty dramatic change in comparison to what we've been experiencing with these constant cold fronts and patterns of winter precipitation. You can see in the Akron-Canton area in Columbus, there's this pattern of clouds coming through, with Columbus being a lot warmer at 50 degrees and the Akron-Canton area looking at 39, with Pittsburgh having a lot more sun and the rest of Ohio dealing with a lot nicer weather than we are currently experiencing. Zooming into the northeastern part of the state, you're going to see a lot of this pattern that I was talking about. As the sun's starting to go down, a lot of the temperatures are staying the same, 37, 39 degrees. This type of range slightly above freezing. With the rain in the area, there is a possibility of freezing rain overnight, so be sure to watch out as you are driving. Now, looking into my 7-day forecast, we've got a lot of patterns of precipitation coming up. Starting with our forecast for tomorrow, is going to be a high of 43 degrees, but there is a good chance of rain in the evening. Now, we're going to jump up to 49 degrees on Friday, but there is a lot of wind. I'm forecasting winds up to 20 miles per hour. If you do not need to go outside and walk across campus, I recommend you don't. We're going to deal with a cold front coming in this weekend with highs of 34 degrees and 26 over the weekend. There's a chance of morning snow on Saturday, but it is only at about 30%, so there is a possibility it could go away. As the week starts, on Monday, it's going to be a high of 40 degrees, and it's going to be mostly sunny, so a lot more temperate in comparison to what we're going to be facing this weekend. The temperatures are going to continue to climb as we head into next week, with this time next week being a high of 57 and a strong chance of rain right now. For more updates on this upswing in temperatures, you can always tune in right here with us at KSTV. I'm Sophia Sonato. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Sophia. We're now going to take things over to the world of health with updates about Medicaid and the latest USDA strategy for eggs. Our correspondent Gage Wellman has the latest on health.
Good evening, Gage.
Good evening, gentlemen. Yes, there are more and more updates coming at us quickly, so here's what's happening. Starting over on Capitol Hill, House Republicans have passed a law that would cut over $880 billion in Medicaid funds. The framework of this bill that would decrease funding for over a decade has not been finalized and is only set to go to the Senate, where it's likely to get pushed back. Medicaid impacts over 70 million Americans and provides health care to low-income individuals, for example, elderly people who rely on this service for nursing home expenses. Now, you may have noticed that the price of eggs, along with oranges, has increased in the last few weeks, largely in part due to the bird flu epidemic. Now, in response to this, Brooke Rollins, the Secretary of the Department of Agriculture, has announced the government's plan to tackle said price hikes. The plan suggests $500 million in biosecurity measures to keep airborne viruses off farms, and also cutting back on regulations on egg producers to make it easier for families to raise their own chickens. Eli Lilly, the company responsible for weight loss drugs such as Mounjaro, has announced it will build 4 new manufacturing plants in the U.S. The company's CEO, David Ricks, says the plan to establish these plants will rely on the renewal of the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, which lowered the corporate tax rate in the United States. Now, for more updates on these stories and more, go to KentStater.com. From Franklin Hall, I'm Gage Wellman.
Thanks, Gage. For all my Catholics out there this morning, the Vatican provided an update on the condition of Pope Francis. Officials say he is now sitting up and will continue to receive treatment, and he will also rest after another peaceful night in the hospital. The Vatican source also says that the Pope is showing signs of improvement after being diagnosed with pneumonia, but the 88-year-old is still going to remain on oxygen.
The bodies of 4 Israeli hostages are to be returned to Israel in exchange for several hundred Palestinian prisoners today. An Israeli official told CNN that the return of the deceased hostages was expected to begin at 11 p.m. local time or 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The return of the bodies is the final handover agreed upon under the Israeli-Hamas ceasefire.
A certain Kent State basketball team punched their ticket to the MAC championship. Hear more about it in sports.
That our nation has ever experienced. We lost Leo when he was only 19, killed by fentanyl he didn't even know he was taking. He was my heart, my son.
My grandson. I wish you could have met him. Such a beautiful young man. Kind, smart, funny, sweet, a great kid.
Go to ladrfoundation.org to join us in the fight against fentanyl.
Thank
you.
Jimmy can't sing, and Tommy can't dance. So we're gonna put some ants in their pants. Aww.
Kids will spend 22 minutes watching us, the super duper party troopers, sing about ants in their pants.
Isn't that funny? Ants in their pants, they've got ants in their pants, they've got ants in their pants.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
Welcome to my block party. Glad you can make it.
I can do this all day. Your moves are just gay.
Using gay to mean dumb or stupid, not cool. Not in my house, not anywhere. It's not creative, it's offensive to gay people. And you're better than that.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Well, just as many Browns fans anticipated, Kevin Stefanski met with a handful of quarterbacks ahead of the NFL Combine. The Browns currently hold the 2nd overall draft pick, and a quarterback may be a realistic option for the team during the draft in April.
He also made comments on star pass rusher Myles Garrett, saying he expects Garrett to still be on the team this upcoming season.
Well, Matt, it seems like the Browns are back in quarterback purgatory. At least that's what the signs say. But for more in sports, we're going to bring things over to Jordan Hiles. What do you got for us?
Thanks, guys. Who's ready to take a deep dive in the world of sports? I know I am. Let's get into it. The Kent State men's basketball team is officially heading to the 2025 MAC tournament after a dominant 105-65 win over Toledo. The Flashes exploded early, outscoring the Rockets 54-30 in the first half and never looking back. 5 players scored in double figures, led by Von Cameron Davis with 21 points. Kent State now sits at 3rd in the MAC at 9-6 and will face Akron on February 28th. The Kent State women's basketball team looks to secure a MAC tournament berth and avenge an earlier loss as they host Northern Illinois tonight at 7. The Flashes are coming off a 60-54 win over Ball State with Jenna Batch leading the way with 18 points. In a midweek showdown, the Kent State lacrosse team suffered a tough 17-6 loss versus Bucknell. The Bison came out firing, netting 6 goals in the first 7 minutes. They showed no signs of slowing down in the second half, sealing the game with 17 total goals. The Flashes will look to bounce back on March 2nd against Lindenwood. Heading into the NBA, the season is winding down and it's week 19 and the Cleveland Cavaliers took a trip to Orlando to face the Magic. Quick pregame stats, the Cavs are 47-10 while the Magic stand at 29-31. Early in the first, with the Cavs up by a single point, DeAndre Hunter jump shot and it is good. Donovan Mitchell drives in, nicks it to Max Struss and Hunter. Back to back, yes sir. The Cavs are up 16-9. It's Mitchell again and he throws it off the heel to Jarrett Allen to recover, hands it to Hunter and he winds it up. Bingo! Another 3. That's 3 back-to-back threes by DeAndre Hunter. We're jumping to the fourth quarter as Evan Mobley with the huge finish, and that will do it. The Cavs blow the Magic out of the water with a final score of 122-82. After their win against Orlando, the Cavs will be back in action this Friday against the Boston Celtics. I'm Jordan Hiles, KSTV.
Hear all about her art and this cool way to recycle. ahead.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
Kids will spend 15 minutes watching online videos like this one.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
That John Lithgow has accepted a role as Albus Dumbledore in the TV adaptation of the Harry Potter series. He is expected to be the third person to play Dumbledore as the headmaster of Hogwarts. The filming of this series is supposed to start in the summer, but HBO has not confirmed the hiring, and they said they will not until the deals are finalized.
Maine artist and cold water swimmer Mariah Reedon is using litter left at national parks to create art. Inspired by a cross-country drive for work, Reedon is beginning picking up trash at national parks and using it to create works about that park. Reedon hopes her work will show others that they can use any material at hand for art and encourages young artists to follow their passions.
Well, that is all the time we have for you tonight, Portage County.
For updates on all these stories and more, be sure to check out kentstater.com. I'm Matt Brown.
And I'm Anthony Leonardi. Have a great night.
Can you consent with me? Imagine what you'd see if every child had a book to read. 'Cause every kid across the nation deserves a book to read, and we can make it happen right now. No, I don't know what you've been told, but kids with books learn so much more. So the mission is for us to get a book to each and every child. So let's join hands, book people unite, unearth hidden passion. Come on, we'll have a good time. Planting seeds of inspiration to motivate some magic. To change the writing on the wall, writing on the wall, and make a difference. One book can inspire a child. One book can be the first element that helps to change a life. People unite.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
When you reach for your prescription medications, you trust that the medicine is going to do what it's supposed to do, make you feel better. That trust comes from knowing that teams of doctors, biologists, chemists, pharmacists, and other health scientists at the FDA are working tirelessly to protect the health of the American public by making careful, informed decisions about which new drugs to approve. Find the answers at fda.gov/drugs.
Without music on, check us truly.